Hi, welcome to another episode of Salt Air. My name is Tom Hatch, the creator of Salt and CTO of SaltStack. With me, I have Alex Pay, SaltStack's Vice President of Product. Alex has been working hard on getting the 5.5 release of SaltStack Enterprise out the door. And I brought him on today to talk about some of the features and some of the wonderful things that we've got in this exciting new release. It's easily the most feature-packed and the most stable and scalable release of Enterprise that we've ever put out. So what can you tell us about this, Alex?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. So, as Tom mentioned, this is a very feature-rich release for us. There are a number of things that we're very proud and very excited to get into customer hands. It starts with just simplifying the installation experience. We've gone from having that be a somewhat onerous experience to one that can literally be set up in a matter of minutes by almost anybody by following a few simple rules, a simple document, and filling out a configuration file. With the customers that have already implemented this, we've had them come back and tell us that they've reported the installation taking a fraction of what it had taken before. Once you've got the product installed, you will now see new features and functions within SaltStack Enterprise, the most important of which are the Job Center and this Job Schedule functionality. The Job Scheduler allows you to go in and schedule any job that you need to run anytime in the future. We provide the flexibility that you're used to with SaltStack by giving you the ability to schedule for a specific time, recurring schedule, and if none of these options work for you, you can set a cron tab or a cron job that allows you to go in and run this job at any specific cron defined time. Of course, once you start to schedule these, it's very important that you're able to see exactly when something's going to run, what is currently running, and what may have completed. And so we've got a job center that tracks all this activity, giving you a very simple graphical user interface for you to come in and understand exactly what phase any particular job is running in. You can also filter down to understand who ran the job, how long it may have taken, and which minions it was running against. So you can filter on targeting, you can filter on jobs, you can filter on any number of attributes so you know exactly what's taken place. A couple of other key features that we also built into this particular release are around the ability to manage Windows devices agentlessly. So very similar to the SSH technology that you're used to with Linux, we have that same capability now with Windows. And also we've made some major improvements around performance and stability. This was a goal from us beginning this summer, and we've noted a 66% reduction in memory usage with the latest 5.5 release. And so we're very proud of the improvements that we've been able to make with the 5.5 release.
That sounds fantastic. If we dive back into that job center, so what you're telling me is that when I've got scheduled jobs, they show up as going to run in the future, right?
That's correct.
So I'm able to get a nice view of what routines I've got lined up. Now, let's say one of those routines are going to fall into a window where I don't want it to run. Can I pause those? Can I shuffle those around at all?
Of course. And so this Job Center gives you that insight of what's running when, so you can identify maybe somehow you've got a number of schedules that are running at the same time, putting too much load on your system. It's just a matter of changing the schedule to adjust that or spread that out. Or maybe, I call it the Super Bowl Sunday feature. You want to make sure that nothing goes wrong during that game, so you can go ahead and pause those jobs so they don't run maybe that one time, and then they'll pick up the next time, right? Or typically this is done during a maintenance window. So you can do that for any specific schedule, one instance of that schedule, or a set of schedules altogether for a time window.
That sounds fantastic. One of the other things that you mentioned was performance, and the memory usage had gone down dramatically. One of the things that I'm really excited about with this release is that one of our big challenges with SaltStack Enterprise has been scale. The Salt Master scales really well, but being able to propagate all this information up into a UI and dealing with large scale information and scaling that UI has always been a big challenge. Some of the things that we've done in this release is that we've added a Redis component, and we've made it so that Redis component can be off of the SaltStack Enterprise master. And so that SaltStack Enterprise server, what it has is the ability to, sure, run everything together, but it can sit behind a load balancer, making it much more scalable to be able to say that I've got multiple of these SaltStack Enterprise servers that are running all of my routines for me, and then hooked into a Redis cluster to be able to take care of a lot of that queuing, and then hooked into a scaled out Postgres cluster. We've already been able to run tests where we have seen this thing scale into the many tens of thousands of connected minions. And as we move forward, we're excited to be able to test at significantly higher numbers with future releases. And so we continue to march towards having that significantly better scale. Are there any other things that you think that we should cover in a little more detail in the next few minutes?
Yeah, I think one item that's worth mentioning is a feature that we've put out in 5.5 that's actually a beta. It came out with our patch release, and it's what we call the Enterprise Proxy. And I believe there's a Salt there that'll go into greater detail, but it's worth noting here that what that does is it decouples the process from the individual proxies. So traditionally, you've had a one-to-one relationship between the process and the proxy. With the Enterprise Proxy, we'll be able to decouple that to give you much more efficient use of your hardware and a much more scalable solution for managing things like network devices. That's a very exciting beta feature that we have out with the 5.5.1 release, and that will continue to enhance and improve as we roll into 2019.
It's fantastic. I'm really excited to see the proxy come out. And I have to admit that I personally did a fair amount of work on the proxy, as well as the scheduling system in the job center. It's been really fascinating and amazing to watch these things come together, and really exciting to be able to not only be involved in the architecture and the process, but also in the weeds with the code and working with our engineers to make sure that these things get across the line and that they're high quality, that this is software that can be relied on.
That's right.
All right, Alex, thanks for coming on this week, and look forward to talking to you again about more releases that we have coming out and some of the extra concepts that we have in some upcoming releases of Salt as well. Thanks.